Hey, we welcome in the general manager of the Bowie Baysox, Brian Shallcross, who's been with the Baysox since 2000, been their general manager since 2002. And Brian, the excitement I think around baseball right now is the anticipation and knock on wood, everything keeps moving forward, and May 4th is opening day in AA. Let's hope that plays out just as the schedule says it is meant to be. And what will it mean to have baseball back for the Baysox?
Well, thanks for having me on, Steve, and happy birthday officially.
Thank you.
You know, minor league baseball specifically is 100% about community, and sometimes we minimize baseball and we maximize what it is to be part of a community. And so to have that community come back, even in a limited fashion that we expect to have at least in May, Steve, will be in limited capacity. But just to have our community back inside our ballpark, for me, a lifetime baseball person who has thrived on bringing communities together, and we're told to, okay, everybody separate. So just the idea that we have an opportunity to bring our community together, even in a limited capacity, is special to me.
No doubt about it. And, you know, kudos to all the GMs and all the teams around Birdland. You guys were doing things to help your communities during the height of this pandemic over the last few months. And, you know, at a time when you were hurting a little bit yourselves, but I think a lot of you didn't focus on that. You focused on serving the community, which has always been big for you, as you just noted.
Yeah, without serving the community, we're nothing. I mean, we really are a community-based organization and an industry, quite frankly. So, and the good thing is we share best practices with everybody across the nation in minor league baseball. And so some of the brightest minds in baseball have to transition and focus on, okay, how can we help our communities in this time? And we're continuing to do that. We did a good job. We left some things on the table we probably could have done, but we continue. We just had conversations yesterday about being a vaccination site. So those conversations are ongoing.
Let's talk about fans at games, Brian, with the understanding we taped this in late February. Your opener is not till May 4th. Your home opener is not till a week later at Prince George's Stadium. No doubt between now and then, it's going to be very different, hopefully in a much better way. But as we speak today, if you had a game today, could the Baysox have fans at Prince George's Stadium?
No, very limited amount. So no. And Major League Baseball has a pretty organized, prescribed plan through the end of May for minor league teams, pod seating, limited capacity. But as we speak right now, Prince George's County would not be able to host a game.
Is it your hope as May arrives that is no longer true?
Yeah, we've seen it everywhere around us, Steve, and we have to be cognizant that Prince George's County has had higher rates of infection. More of our citizens here in Prince George's County have been affected by this, by COVID. So we are cognizant of it. We're not pushing any political or authorities in our communities to push at all for us. Right now, we're just hopeful, and we see the progress that's been made in communities around us. Just yesterday, Anne Arundel County, which is right next to us, loosened up their restrictions to outdoor sporting events. Virginia, just this past week, has done the same with 1,000 people. So we are just patient. And obviously, as we see the numbers improve day after day, we're certainly optimistic with the understanding that, you know, people are still passing away from this terrible epidemic. So we don't want to push ourselves anywhere that we shouldn't be. And we're being very patient at this time. We do have a couple months. And obviously the numbers look good for us to loosen up by May.
What was it like for the Baysox to host the alternate camp last summer? And what was it like for you and your staff? Could you even be a part of that and watching workouts, or was it so restrictive because of the protocols that it was, quote, your stadium, but you really weren't running the show at that point?
I think it's a tribute to the Orioles organization, quite frankly, Steve, that it went off without a hitch. You didn't hear about any outbreaks here. A really impressive operation. Me personally, I was tier 1. So I'm sorry, tier 3. So you had tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So tier 1 could talk to tier 2, but couldn't talk directly with tier 3 and things like that. So it was different. But in this day and age, you do a lot of your business over the phone anyway. But as you're sitting 5 rows away from the coaches and players and talking, you respect that the Orioles had a system in place in Major League Baseball as well, and worked really well here at the Baysox with what we were able to accomplish in both clubhouses and social distancing and things like that. So it was also really special now because you had simulated games almost every day, Steve, and it's almost like you're cutting to right at the heart of the baseball, right? You have the pitcher and the batter, and you might see some of our top prospects take 3 at bats in a matter of 30 minutes. So really cool if you really like baseball, and you could see the top prospects right here, all in the same place and going against each other, pitcher versus catcher, pitcher versus batter. So it was a really special, surreal type of experience.
Had to be fun. You were someplace that none of us could go, fans, media, whatever, man. You were on the ground floor watching that. We were hearing good things about it. And obviously, Bowie's done a good job sending players to the Orioles for a long time. Last year was done well again, and kind of in a different way. But Brian, as we look ahead now, Major League Baseball has taken over the running of the minor leagues. What will change? What do you think the next year or 2 or 3 will hold? How will it play out in places like Bowie?
So I think the important thing for Major League Baseball, and what was an impetus for them to take over the minor league system, is to ensure that there is high quality facilities, high quality travel, high quality accommodations, high quality staffing in the clubhouses, make sure that the facilities are up to a very, very high standard. So that's important from the baseball perspective. Now, I think what's important for us to communicate to Major League Baseball is that minor league baseball has really made their mark in this industry, in the sports industry, by focusing on the fan, by focusing on the community. And so I think it's important that we in the minor league baseball make sure to demonstrate that in an ongoing fashion, that the community matters, fans matter. And it's not 100% about the baseball experience, because our job is to get a casual fan, someone who might not be a diehard baseball fan, and turn them into an Orioles diehard fan. So from my perspective, I want the folks that don't really know a lot about baseball, I can teach them about baseball from a fan perspective. And we can get the next generation of fans to become a part of Birdland. So that's where the Major League Baseball is taking over. They really want to emphasize the players and the sport and the integrity of the sport, and we appreciate that. And they bring a lot to the minor leagues in the marketing realm as well. But we bring different things to this industry and this sport, because it's a sport we all love. And we want to make sure that we are ambassadors of the sport and can bring in as much interest and fandom to the sport as possible.
It's probably one thing, Brian, the average fan doesn't really totally understand. When you look at a minor league team like the Baysox, the players, the staff, they're paid and run by the Orioles organization. You inherit them, you're given that group. And most years it works great. But at the same time, the Baysox are a business, selling tickets, parking, concessions, trying to run your business and be viable there and do right by the community, as you've discussed. And so these are 2 groups working under 2 kind of different umbrellas to try to make it all work for everybody.
Right, and that's a unique job that I have as a general manager is I have to respect the game, and I have to work with the baseball operations part of it and ensure that the Orioles, that we are taking the vision that Mike Elias has laid out and ensuring that the Orioles have every opportunity to execute that vision in the minor leagues. But I also have to put the other hat on and make sure that we are operating this business and making sure that our fans are satisfied. Obviously, our sponsors and other stakeholders of the Baysox make sure that their voice is heard. and that we are making good on their expectations as well.
Do you believe what we'll see this year on the farm is going to evolve and change? In other words, we're wondering all kinds of things. League names, we're here, that may change. Schedules could adapt. Is a lot. Is this year almost like a transition? Let's see how we pull this off, and then they'll tweak, kind of thing.
Yeah, if you think about the minor league baseball as what was officially called National Association of Professional Baseball League, started in 1901, right? And so that there's no such thing as that organization anymore. So anytime you have an organization that has endured that long through different iterations to take it over in 1 year, and really 1.5 years considering a pandemic, is to take it over completely. It's a big undertaking. So there are going to be hiccups. There's no question about that. There are going to be hiccups, and there are going to be things that are worked out. And I think the agreement spells some of that out. Is there's going to be some committees that will help the transition in a constant evolving way. And certain of minor league baseball employees have been retained by Major League Baseball to help that transition as well.
Cannot wait to get back to everywhere in Birdland, including Bowie, place I've been many times. Every time I've been there, loved it, and can't wait for the next one when safely we can all be together, maybe even shake hands. I might give you a hug, Brian. It's been that long, man. We just need to see each other when we can do it, and I can't wait. And so continued success to all you guys are doing at PG Stadium, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for the visit today.
Thank you, and we got your seat ready.
I will partake of that very soon. Thanks, Brian.
All right, Steve.